Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to learn bubble charts in Excel. Bubble charts are a type of data visualization tool commonly used in Excel to display three-dimensional data in two-dimensional format. These charts consist of bubbles or circles positioned on a grid with the size and the position of each bubble representing different variables of the data set. Uses of bubble charts. Bubble charts are commonly used in marketing and sales to analyze and compare different products or brands. The X and Y axis can represent different product attributes or market segments, while the bubble size can represent sales volume or market share. Such bubble charts allow business to identify trends, spot outliers, and make informed decisions about product positioning or market strategies. Now let's move on to our Excel file to understand the bubble chart. In this table, we have three columns. The first column shows that the milk product produced in every month, quantity of these product, and the net profit of these products. We can use bubble charts to understand which month produced highest quantity of milk products. We can plot bubble chart based on two variables or three variables. Using milk product and quantity table, we can identify in which month the milk product was produced more, in which month the quantity was high. Using these three variables, we can plot a bubble chart and understand in which month the net profit was high. I've selected the whole table now. Let me go to Insert, and here under the Scatter Charts, we have bubble chart here. We have a bubble chart like this slightly intersecting on each other. From the table, we don't have any negative values here, but we see that we see negative -2 here in our chart. Double click on this and we see a format axis here. Let me remove this -2 and enter 0 here. Now our chart is rearranged a bit. And I see that it is no values till 200. All the values are about 200 and 0 to 200 space is empty here in y-axis. Let me double click on y-axis. Let me enter 200 here. Enter. And here again in x-axis we see that there's no bubble after 9. So we don't have to use the data till 10. We can reduce this to 9. And instead of 10, let me make it as 9. Now the bubble chart which was intersecting on each other is slightly away. Let me remove the grid lines. When you click on these bubble charts, we see that all these three tables are considered for this bubble chart. And the bubble size depends upon these numbers, the net profit amount. More the net profit amount, more the bubble size. So we see that the size is 90K, which is this amount. And here the size is 77K, which is this amount. The bubble size is based on the net profit, but the bubble position is based on the quantity. When you hover on this bubble, we see that the data is for June and the quantity is 508 and the size is 77K. This is the row. 508 is the position of this. This is the third entry, which is at 3, and this is at 508. This is how it's positioned. And let's enable the data labels here. When you look at the label numbers here, 619 being the highest of all, but this circle is small. For 508, the circle is little big, and for 427, the circle is the biggest of all. But the value here, 600 and 619, is the highest value of quantity, but the size is not as per the quantity. This 619 only is somewhere near to this axis, which is the vertical axis. 619 represents the vertical axis value and not the bubble size. For us to decide the bubble size, we have our net profit. Here this 427 is towards the 427 on the vertical axis, and this one is the fourth value here, which is February 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the fourth value, and the amount is 427. That's how it's reflected on the x and the y axis. But size is dependent on the net profit value, which is our third variable. Let me go to data labels, more options, because I am going to change the data label from quantity to net profit. To make the changes, I'll have to go to more options, go to label options, and here we see that the bubble size, and this is not the y axis. So we have the bubble size here based on the net profit. We see that data labels are overlapping on each other. This is not giving a clear visual appeal. The reason is because of this lengthy number, and the data label is not able to hold this lengthy number, and that's reason it's just going out of the area. Here in place of 19053, let me make it as 19k, 15k, 76k, which is 76,000, and so on. To make that changes, let me select this range, or go to more number formats, custom, control all delete, 0 and a comma. And this is in thousand range, $1,000. So it's 19k. Let me mention k there within double quotes. Now we have 19,053 as 19k. That is what is shown in the sample. Click OK. And now we have our bubble showing only these two digits. From this, we understand that 90k is the biggest net profit amount, and that's the reason this bubble is pretty big compared to all the other bubbles. 10k is the least, so this is the smallest bubble, and the bubble size is based on this range, which is the net profit range. Let's change this to a 3D bubble. Click on the chart, click on chart design, and here we have chart type. Go to 3D bubble chart. We can give different colors to the bubbles. Select the bubble, format data series, and change the color to red. Or now I have my color as red. You can change it to any other color as per the preference. Let me change the background to black. Okay, we have to color it again. Solid color. Okay. And the labels are not clearly visible, so let me select the labels and give the color as white and make it bold. Control B, and it just goes bold. Now we have the data labels in white color and it's all bold now. Let me remove the grid lines. Now we have our bubble chart month wise, and this is the bubble size depending upon the net profit. I have changed the bubble color and the font color. Let me stretch this graph. Now our bubble looks little better and there's little gap in between these two bubbles now. We have another table here which is ice cream quantity and sales. We have the same months here which is July to April and the same months which is July to April. But here the product was for milk product and here the product is for ice creams. The quantity is different. Now I want this table data to be included on the same chart and I want the bubbles to be shown for both milk product and the ice creams data. To get the ice cream data included in this chart, click anywhere on the chart and right click. You can either select data from here or go to chart design and click on select data. Here add another data table and we can give the name as ice creams or any other name as per the preference. For X value, we see that it requires three variables, X, Y and the bubble size variable that's called Z. For X variable, we have our months here. For Y, let me delete this and select the quantity. And for the bubble size, I have the net profit amount. I have not selected the header here. I have just selected the values. Click OK. Now we have these two bubbles here. Let me give a different color to this bubble. And the font. Here we have a bubble chart for two products. To change the data label, click on this. Go to data labels, more options and change this to bubble size and uncheck the Y value. For the given data, this is how the bubble chart looks like. This way, using the bubble chart, we can find the difference between the two products and their net profit based on the bubble size. Here we see that milk product has been the highest manufactured product and for the month of February, milk product was produced the highest and the total net profit that we received through the milk product was 90K. This has been the highest profited product for the month February. And we see that the least one here is the milk product again for the month of April where the product was 10K net profit. And when it comes to our second product which was ice cream, we see that 58K is our highest ice cream net profit and this was for the month of April. And the second highest being this 56K which was for the month of March. When we compare both the products and their net profit, we see that milk product has more net profit. This way, using the bubble chart, we can clearly understand the performance of ice cream and the milk product. Now let's quickly understand the highlights of this video. In the bubble chart, the x-axis represents products and y-axis represents quantity and the size of each bubble represents sales or net profit. Bubble chart analysis helps to gain insights into the sales and profit patterns of different products. Each bubble size shows the highest value of sales or profit, which helps the business to understand the product performance easily.